Hey, hello everyone. This is Sajeeth here. Um, just checking if the audio and video is all okay. A quick show of hands. Let me know if you're able to hear me fine. Extremely hot day here in Chennai. All okay? Good. Great. So I think thanks for joining in on time. But you usually know how this happens, so I'm going to be um, talking something for you with you for the next 5 minutes until the others probably join in. Unfortunately, but that's how this thing works. Been a while since we did some webinar as well, so um, I'm probably a little rusty, but hope you guys stay with me on this. So why don't we do a very quick intro? I would like to know what you're doing. Um, you're in engineering or you're in business or whatever that is that you're doing, slash which city that you're from. If you could quickly go ahead and do that, I think that would be a great intro. In the meanwhile, I'll start with what we are doing. Been a while since I've been speaking with people as well. So I can also take a little bit of an introduction for me, right? So why don't you quickly go ahead and type out what exactly it is that you're doing, and we'll probably start from there, right? And we'll use the chat box for all the messages per se. And any questions that you want to ask me, please put it in the Q&A tab. There's a separate tab for that. And we can probably do the questions towards the end. So can you guys quickly go ahead and give me a small introduction about yourself? What is it that you're doing, where you're from? Just a quick introduction. Someone was typing and you left it halfway. Just for me to know who I'm speaking to. Otherwise, trust me, it is very difficult, right? I mean, I need to know what you guys are doing so I can probably keep things relevant for you. Quick intro, please. Arun Shivakumar is typing. Others, just let me know where you're from. And okay, maybe, are you guys okay with me talking in English? Anyone here who has problems with English? Now that I know many other languages except for South Indian languages, so I can't probably converse in that, but do let me know if you're comfortable with English, if you're not comfortable with English. Akil, okay, mechanical design engineer from Chennai. Super. So Akil, are you working somewhere right now? I think we usually say 6, we'll start at 6, we kind of stick to that, but Ashik, automotive engineering from Kerala, Kozhikode. Okay. Shashi Kumar from Bangalore, cybersecurity. Okay, great, super. Um, so I think one very important thing about what we are doing right now is we are bypassing quite a lot of security on the ECUs when we say that we are especially remapping ECUs, right? So cybersecurity is quite a lot of applications there. Arun from Chennai, automotive enthusiast, super, super. Great. So I think we're all set, right? So I think, I mean, with the 20 people here, I think we can just like start off and let the others join. I'll just take a quick couple of minutes to, um, just speak about what is it that we are doing currently. Um, some of you might know what we're doing, some of you might not. So just wanted to give you a small introduction about who I am, what we are doing, right? So let me do it this way. So I run Rain Lab Technologies. This is what I currently do. But I am also the founder of Sirius Motorsports, and I also run Code 6 Chennai, right? So this is basically who I am. So in order to kind of give you a very quick intro, what we are doing right now is we offer quite a lot of technical trainings. technical as well as soft skills training. And we are probably the only institution which has got both an ASTC and a STEM certification, along with ACC, PCC certifications from the coaching side, right? So we basically do these two things. And the other primary difference is our clients are, there's quite a lot of industry clients which we have. So I have not mentioned pretty much everyone that we work with, but these are some of the clients we work with. I also work with BITS Pilani as a adjunct faculty. But apart from that, automotive companies, I think you would know Bosch very well. I also work with Continental and Aptiv. I don't have it here, but we do that. Montra is an electric auto manufacturer. Abhijit Dyson Tools, design engineer, I think Arun Akil, I'm not sure, I forgot your name. So Abhijit is one of the biggest tools and die supplier to all the automotive companies. They're based out of Pune. Convert, again, an electric auto retrofit company, Powertronics, Race Dynamics. DEP and Sacha, these are engineering services company in the automotive domain. So the primary client for these two is Ford GTBC India. Coming out here, Volvo Eicher, Rane NSK, the person who makes all your steering systems for Volkswagen and Maruti cars. So we work with them. Mahindra, of course. Quite a mix of other people here, right? So what I've been busy doing is I'm not exactly doing a lot of motorsports these days, but does not mean I'm not working with the automotive. It's just that my clients are like slightly different right now. We are working directly with the automotive companies, right? So I think that said and done, you guys are probably more interested in finding out what we did or what we do in the motorsport side. So I'm not gonna show a presentation for that, but I thought if you could just completely share my screen, and then I could kind of like show you some of the rather interesting things which we have done in the past, right? So PPTs can always lie. Social media probably can't, right? So I'm probably gonna just go here, take it up for you, and show it to you on the social media. Bear with me for a second. Been a while since I have got into this. Let me just pull this up for you. So I started my career in motorsports sometime in 2004 while I was still in college. Okay, I forgotten my password. Okay, not a big deal. Let me just see if I can. How do you? 1 second. Hold on. Let me see if I remember the password or. Super. Okay, not a big deal. Yeah, so I started my career in motorsports sometime in 2004, right? So from then on, I've been trying to work with cars, build cars. We've been doing racing, and I've probably started my career not in the OEMs, but I started in the motorsport side of things. So I was building cars, I was reverse engineering cars, and somewhere along the way, I got an opportunity to get into the OEM field. And today, I think I should rather be very confident about what I do because I walk into companies. I'm a consultant with quite a lot of companies. I do trainings for them. Of course, not on ECU tuning, but I do trainings on electric vehicles primarily these days. And I've also handled courses on IC engines, and we don't call it tuning, we call it calibration for bits. So that's basically a very quick introduction about myself. You're not here to listen about me. So let's quickly jump in. I just wanted to kind of like put out what is the agenda for today, right? So I'm going to be trying to do this in 3 parts, right? So the part 1 will basically be the background information. So don't think background is boring. Background is going to be about what exactly is calibration, why should you learn calibration, why no one else is teaching calibration. Calibration is ECU tuning, right? So tuning. So why is no one else teaching tuning in India? We are going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about which is what is tuning, and why. So most of you might think if you learn tuning, you can just start a motorsports garage or you can start a remap franchisee. That's not true, right? I'm gonna talk a bit about that. That's going to approximately take us about 10-15 minutes. And the second is all about your careers, right? You're probably here because you are interested in building a career out of it. Without a career, it doesn't really make any sense. Why should you want to learn, right? So, what exactly is the career? What is the career paths? We'll have a small, discussion on that. And the third part, where I would like to spend a lot more of time, is a demonstration of what exactly we do to teach ECU tuning, because some of the questions that most of them have is, hey, don't I need a car to learn ECU tuning, right? So there's a question which I keep getting frequently. I've tried to solve this problem. In fact, like when I first started with an idea of ECU tuning, it was sometime in 2012 or 2011, right? That's when we first started building our cars for tuning. And from then on, we've kind of like gone one or the other. We've been trying to build systems. We've been trying to do things. So this is what I'm going to be doing, right? I'm going to be talking about these things. So now I would quickly ask you guys to just, put out your questions if you have any, right? So before we start, if you have any questions, so there is a reason that you guys are here. You want to learn something, you want to do something. So if you could quickly go ahead and post your questions, whatever it is that you want to do, I can probably see how I can align my webinar to kind of meet your needs, right? So I want you to quickly go ahead and put something in the Q&A box or the chat box if you're not able to find the Q&A box, which is going to tell me about why exactly you're here, right? Not everyone is here to learn. Maybe someone of you here is to figure out what opportunities you have, or if you want to have a startup idea, you want to do a higher education in this. I just wanted to kind of get an understanding about what you want to do. So go ahead and post it out there. I think 6:10. I think we are on schedule to start it. So I'll start with the proper the webinar content per se, right? So like I said, I teach at BITS. I teach at BITS Pilani, and as a part of that, I am someone who does not believe in structured content. So what I mean to say is that I'm so used to having interactive discussions, so that when the moment you try putting in some slideshows and things, I have a feeling it is constraining too much. So for that reason, I always believe that we should go with the flow, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's start with the background first, right? So the first thing is going to be about what exactly is tuning, right? And why is it that you should be able to learn it? And why is it that no one else is doing it? So when I say ECU tuning, right? A politically correct way of talking about ECU tuning, or rather the technical way of ECU tuning, technical term, which kind of like I'll have to use, is going to be something like calibration of engine control unit, right? So if I sell a course, or if I organize a webinar and say, I'm going to be teaching about calibration of engine control units, I'm pretty sure not many of you are going to turn up, right? So you're going to be like, what calibration of what, right? So ECU tuning is the colloquial way of calling calibration. So calibration is the actual industrial speak for it. So we will stick with ECU tuning, but if you are someone with an engineering bent of mind and you want to look at it from an engineering perspective, then what we are teaching is calibration of engine control units. Now, what exactly is this? That's being explained here. So you have an engine control unit, which is an ECU, right? And the ECU is a dumb box. It does not know how to run an engine. We'll have to tell the ECU how to run an engine, okay? So that is basically what ECU tuning or calibration of engine control is all about. Very simply put, that is what it is. Or I can probably put it into a block diagram like this. So you have the ECU, you have your engine, right? How does the ECU control the engine, right? What does the ECU do to control the engine? So the answer to that is the ECU is at a very basic level, right? You leave out all the complex engine control units that comes with your Skodas and your Volkswagens and stuff like that. At a very basic level, what does an engine control unit do to your engine, right? If you were to look at that, the answer is it is going to control your fuel and it is going to control your spark. Now, this is if it is a gasoline engine or a petrol engine. If it is a diesel engine, it will not be spark, it will be timing of the fuel, right? So this is for the diesel engine. But you can say that an ECU is any system which does two things. One is to put fuel into the engine. The second one is to say how much of a spark or when to inject that fuel. That's about it. Very simple, right? So people can say that no, ECU tuning is complicated, remap is complicated. It can be complicated if you want to look at it that way, but it can also be extremely simple. It can be as simple as just figuring out how much fuel and how much spark to introduce. Now, this is why I keep saying that there is no prerequisites for you to learn about ECU tuning, right? You don't need to have any prerequisites. We have had a student, an enthusiast, an automotive enthusiast, who did his course. I think he had just completed his 7th grade and he had joined for the course. And he could complete it successfully as well. In fact, he came for the dyno tuning session. He could tune cars. And I mean, it was pretty surprising, but that is all the knowledge that you need to have, right? If you know how to do some basic calculations, 25 into 10, or use some calculators and do it, and you know what an engine is, you have seen an engine or you have an interest in learning about it, and that is all you need, right? So that's the first part of it, which is what is calibration? Calibration is basically teaching the ECU how to control the engine, right? So what this means is you have a computer which is connected to the ECU, and you sit on the computer, you type something out, and that goes into the ECU. Okay, you can just think of it as simple as this. Now, how difficult do you think this is to learn? It is not difficult, right? It is, I mean, trust me, it is not difficult. If you can teach a 6th, 7th grade student, we can definitely teach people who are in their college and people, who are much more older than that. We can actually do that. Now, the second most important question is, just because something is easy or something is tough, why should you learn it, right? There has to be some reason why you would want to learn it, right? Without that, it makes absolutely no sense as to why you should spend your time and money and come and sit here and learn it. I look at it in this way. Most people say that, hey, ECU tuning is only for motorsports. When I say motorsports, it also introduces your street tuning and things, high performance, right? So people tend to think that it's all about tuning, making your car go faster, putting a turbocharger in a car, or getting some more fuel efficiency. So people tend to have that kind of a view on it. But what I've seen, what we have over and over, time and again, what we have proved is that this basically gives you a very in-depth understanding of the car, right? So you understand every single intricacies of the electrical and electronics in the car. Now, why would you want to do that? Because once you understand how something works, you can also go and repair those things, right? So now you might think, hey, I'm not interested in repairs. I'm interested in tuning my cars. Yes, of course, you are a different customer persona, but someone might be interested in repairing cars, right? How does this going to help them? As you see, repairing is something like, if you have a garage. I had a garage. I still have a garage. I've been in the garage business for the last 20 years. And I would say 90% of the work will probably be some kind of a repair or service which comes into you. 10% is basically going to be all the tuning jobs that you do, right? So now, will you say no to revenues which come from 90%? Some of them do, but at least here in India, like I don't think that you should be doing that. You should also be able to leverage your knowledge into figuring out how you can go and repair these vehicles, right? So coming back to the reason why you would want to learn tuning is this is not just something which is going to teach you how to tune cars. It's going to tell you how the car works at very, very intricate levels, which means if something goes wrong with the car, you will be in a position to fix it. Let me give you an example. Okay, suppose you have learned how to remap an ECU, right? So remap is basically something where you hack into an ECU, you get into an ECU, you understand how things are working, and then you're kind of like making some changes. Let's take a turbocharged petrol, right? A turbo petrol car. So now if you are able to remap it, it means you understand how the turbo works, you understand how the fuel works, you understand how the air path system works. So you have to understand every single component of a car to basically be able to remap. Now, once you've understood how to make modifications on it, you will automatically also qualify yourself to make repairs on it, right? So now if a turbo has to boost to, let's say, 15 psi, and suppose you are seeing that a turbo is boosting only to 10 psi, then immediately you know that there is a problem in the car. No one has to teach you. You innately you understand that something is wrong with the car, right? So this is the whys, and there is a third why also, right? There are quite a lot of jobs which want you to be able to calibrate engines, right? So if you take a company like Bosch, if you take a company like Continental or Aptiv, there are engine calibration jobs which are available. Now, as long as vehicles are manufactured, there will be calibration jobs. And to get into any calibration jobs, ECU tuning is something which gives you the basics for it. Now, please do not mistake, do not think that this entire thing is applicable only for engines, right? It is not just for engines. In fact, if you can look behind me, what you see behind me, this is our EV lab, which we have. This is not just for engines. This also is applicable for motors, right? An engine is a very complicated piece of equipment. If you can tune an engine, you can tune a motor. If you can tune a motor, you can work in electric vehicle industry. And I don't have to tell you how much people talk about electric vehicle industries. And you would probably be a very few people who can work with the electric vehicles from a tuning, from a calibration kind of a perspective, right? So hope this kind of clears the first part of it. What is tuning and why should you do tuning? Now let me quickly jump and get into the careers part. This is part two, right? I'm trying to go a little bit fast here because I want to kind of take some time, show you what we have, what are the different ways in which we manage to teach you. We want to be showing you that, right? Careers, right? So this is where things get very interesting because most of them think your career, once you do an ECU tuning course, is going to be only with motorsports and probably only with India. But that is basically where the surprise is. So two things here. So first one is our courses are ASDC and STEM.org certificate, right? So STEM.org is a US-based organization. RainLab is the only institution in the automotive sector who has got a STEM.org certification. I don't think anyone else has got a STEM certificate. ASDC, we are also the only organization who has got it along with the STEM, right? ASDC stands for Automotive Skill Development Corporation of India. Now, both of these are internationally valid. Some people say that, hey, we have certifications as well. But the difference is that our certifications have helped people get a UK skilled worker visa, right? So we are not kidding. It has helped them get a skilled worker visa, so which meant that people who did our ECU tuning or mechanic course, the master technician course, they've been able to get a work visa for UK and they're working as technicians in UK. How great is that, right? And till date, I don't know of anyone else who's managed to do that, right? So it was a first for us as well. So we did that last year. This year, we are hoping to kind of do more such things. So if you get qualified for a UK skilled worker visa, then it means you're automatically going to get qualified for Australia and New Zealand visas as well. Not definitely for US, but probably Canada, definitely for Gulf GCC. So you are going to get opportunities working not just in India, but also in the international markets as well. Now, what do you work as? You can either work as a technician, because now you understand everything there is about ECUs. Take a normal technician, right? We don't call them a technician, we call them mechanics, right? So what is the difference between a technician and a mechanic? I would say a technician is someone who understands how the electronics works and is able to, he or she, they're able to kind of fix the electronics as well. Whereas the mechanics are usually good only at R&R. R&R stands for remove and refit. I'm pretty sure you had this experience. You go to a workshop, not just a normal workshop, but even if you go to a something like a very high-end workshop in an automotive company as well, most of the times what they end up doing is they'll just remove and refit components, and they'll try to figure out if something is working or not. That does not really work, right? You go to US, you go to UK, you're not going to have the privilege of having to remove and refit and find out if something's working. You can't do that. So you'll need to be a technician. You'll need to be able to do diagnosis, and the basics for diagnostics comes from ECU tuning, right? So careers, you can work as a technician. You can also, of course, work as a motorsport engineer, right? Motorsport engineers is something which you can definitely do. And for some people, this also helps you get a MS admission, right? In fact, we have not placed, we have kind of helped two of our students get into Cranfield, right? If you are not aware of Cranfield, Cranfield is the training ground for F1 and WRC engineers. This is a university in UK. It is very difficult to get into it. Most of them who have done motorsports in UK, they would have done in Brunel, they would have done it in one of the other universities where it's easy to get in. But Cranfield is extremely tough. You have an interview process. They will do a technical interview, mind it, right? It's not anything. It's a technical interview. And they'll try to find out what kind of an experience do you have working in the motorsport sector. And we've kind of like had some kind of a success in doing that. And apart from it, the other thing is always business, right? So in fact, I think I can go ahead and claim it, right? So the Code 6 Mumbai franchisee Pavan was a student of ours. There are a couple of people operating in Delhi NCR. There are people here in Coimbatore who are basically got into the business of VMAPs. There are people in Patna. There are people in Indore, Bhopal, who basically like are running performance garages. So career-wise, we are extremely particular on what we teach, which is why you will not find a course on Python or web development or something at WineLab. We are extremely focused on what we do, and we kind of try to make sure that there is a career fit, and that's basically when we offer the courses for you, right? So this kind of covers the second part, right? Second part is about careers. So let's take a quick a minute or two break here. Let me just pull up this. Let me just check if you guys have any questions. Is there any question that you have with respect to this, right? I've spoken about what exactly is this, why you should be doing it. I've also spoken about the career. So before we go into the demo, is there anyone here who has any questions? I think we have two questions. One was job opportunity or internship. I think I've already spoken about that. The other one was technical engineer in automotive, both cars and bikes. Yes, this is ECU tuning is basically where you should be starting. So you can think of ECU tuning as the the ABC, the LKG kind of a thing. Not LKG, but the foundations for becoming a technical person as far as cars goes. So there's a pretty good place as any for you to start, right? Super. So now let's probably start with the demo. So for the demo, I would probably like let me probably like just give you an overview of what we have, right? So let me go ahead and close my video. I hope you're able to see this, right? So I'm going to be showing you a couple of different systems today. So it is all going to primarily cover from the perspective of how are we going to be able to teach you to work on ECUs, to work on this without actually being inside a car, right? So what you're seeing is the KTAG bench system right now. What you saw earlier was our desktop simulation. So using this, we can fire up an ECU without being connected to the car. We can fire it up from the desk. And we also have some ECU simulators, which we have built. So the ECU simulators will kind of like help you tune standalone ECUs without actually being connected to the car. You are not able to see. Okay, I'm sorry. Are you able to see it now? Um, yeah. Okay, sure. So what you're seeing in front of you is basically the diagnostic setup. So this is, we call it as a HIL, a hardware in the loop setup. So this allows you to start a ECU, I mean, or switch on an ECU without the ECU being inside the car, right? So that is basically what you're seeing. So then I'll explain, right? I'll just like explain what this is in a while. So the next system that you're seeing is called as the KTAG. So KTAG is a very powerful tool that we use for remaps. So again, you see a ECU. How do we read this ECU on the bench? How do we work with it? So that's basically what you're seeing here. And the next one is the ECU simulator. So the ECU simulator again is it's a system which we have built up ourselves. So this is a simulator which allows you to kind of like tune a standalone ECU while sitting on the bench, right? Because not everyone will be able to go afford a car. You cannot learn to tune in a car. So our whole idea is how do we give you a tuning experience without actually sitting inside a car? Some of you might not be able to come to Chennai. You come to Chennai, I can probably give you a hands-on experience. But in case you're not able to do that, how is it that we're going to be able to give you the same kind of experience, right? So that is what this is all about. So we'll probably start off first with the desktop, the HAL system. So you might be asking, how is it that we can work with an ECU while it is still on the bench, or while it is still sitting on a table? So we're just going to show you a small demo. So you can see that there is a scan tool which is connected to the ECU, the ECU simulator box, in fact. And yeah, just give it a second to switch it on. Okay, so the simulator is here. Um, could you please share some information on the hands-on training? Yes, I will definitely cover that, Shivansh. So this is basically to, I mean, because the question we keep getting is people ask, is it really possible to work on ECUs without being connected to the car? The answer is yes. All you need, we call it as HIL, hardware in the loop. So all you need to be able to do is, have a system which will simulate the vehicle sensors. So that is what is happening here. So you see that the diagnostics tool is now able to connect to the ECU. It is able to extract error codes. Of course, there's going to be a lot of error codes because it's not connected to any other sensor. But you're still going to be able to connect to the ECU. You're going to be able to retrieve the diagnostic trouble codes from it. If you're able to retrieve diagnostic trouble codes, then it also means you can do some calibrations. You can introduce some calibrations into it. So all of these are going to be possible, right? So this is the HAL system, the bench HAL system, which we have. Um, we'll probably just take a couple of minutes to just bring it up and just to show you that it is actually possible to work on the bench with it. So while it is booting up, I'll just show you the other system. So now this is the KTAG, which I was talking about. So KTAG allows you to connect to the ECUs while it is on the bench. So now this is not about diagnostics and things like that, but this is basically about how do you extract files from the ECU, how do you do calibrations, and how do you maybe do ECU cloning and other things. So this is basically something which is going to help you do that, right? So you have the KTAG software and the tool which needs to be connected. And using this, a lot of things are pre-built, and it allows you to like read the data from the car. Maybe you're looking at ECU repair. You want to like be able to clone ECUs. You would be able to do it using the KTAG. Now, quickly, we'll move on to the next system. That is the, probably the diagnostics is up. So it is connected, and you are able to read diagnostics data from the vehicle as well, right? So this is the second simulator that we have. And the third one is basically a simulator which we have again built ourselves. It's a mini HAL. So this is something which allows us to simulate the basic sensors in a motorsport vehicle. So you see RPM, TPS, IAT, coolant temperature, and probably map sensor on it. So now these knobs will control signals which goes to the ECU. So using a combination of this box, we also have a Speeduino ECU which is inbuilt into it. So you would be able to kind of like tune that while the ECU is still on the bench. So this again, some of the benchtop, hands-on that we are able to give for you. If the hardwares are all okay, then I mean, there are quite a lot of other things we have. We have quite a lot of ECUs. Maybe you can just, yeah. So some of the other tools we use. So we have a KES, we have CMD tools, Powertronics. So these are all different ECUs and stuff which you'll be working with. Of course, we have vehicles. We are in the first floor right now. We go to the garage. There are cars. There are bikes in which you would be able to work with, right? Apart from it, we also have some CAN bus simulators because these days, I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but these days, pretty much everything runs on CAN, right? So we'll need to have quite a lot of exposure to how CAN bus systems work because without that, even for tuning or for repairs, you are not going to be able to really work without that, right? So these are some of the systems, and I think if that's okay, I'm just going to switch my screen back on. Right, hope that was kind of like you were able to see that. Now, apart from it, we've also for quite some time we've also had what we call as the virtual dyno. So virtual dyno is again a system which we built ourselves. It's a machine learning algorithm which we have built ourselves. So I'll just probably show this to you as well. So the system is down as of now, but we are just upgrading it. We are building the next version of it. So this is a dyno, right? So usually you know how a dyno looks. Let me just quickly pull up a picture. So car on dyno. So a dyno is an extremely expensive piece of equipment to rent out, put the car, and then you test it. So when you test the car on the dyno, this is basically how it's going to look like, and it's going to tell you what horsepower you're producing. So now what we managed to do is the same kind of a system, we have built it on our webpage. So now when you come in for the course, you want to learn how to tune. So how do you do that? So you can simulate various conditions here. This is throttle and engine RPM. So it's like really running the vehicle on the dyno. And you also have the tuning interface here. So you can kind of go out and tune your spark advances. You can tune your air fuel ratios. You would be able to do all of this here, right? So there's a visual description. It's everything is 16. So if I were to select a couple of cells and change this, you would probably see the whole thing changing here, right? So this is basically a very simplified version of an actual ECU which you will be working. So now, once you get an actual ECU, you will probably have an interface, but it will not work until you have the ECU with you. The ECU is connected to the car. You're not going to learn anything, right? Whereas here, you learn how to tune it, and you learn to tune in an extremely safe way, right? You're not going to blow engines, and you'll be able to figure out what is the torque, what is the power the vehicle is producing. It's an extremely safe way. Now you might ask, what is all the other things, right? Because we also cater to engineering, people with engineering background. So now if you're interested in going and joining a job in Bosch, right, for example, as a calibration engineer, so then they're going to be able to ask you, can you also do calibration for, let's say, emissions, right? So I'm just going to show you what are the jobs that are available. I'm just searching for calibration, and it's maybe like I should say engines, right? So engine calibration. So this is basically the amount of jobs that you have right now, about 31 engine calibration jobs, not bad. And these are all in automotive OEMs. So it's not just that you should go and you should just like work in the motorsport sector, or you should become a mechanic. if you want to join these companies, okay, Tata Autocomp, right? So let's look at what job posting this company has. So now it is basically, knowledge about engine and transmission. Yes, you will have it. Familiar with calibration tools. You will have a little bit of knowledge about Canepe. You will have a little bit knowledge about Ricardo, right? And most probably they're going to ask you if you can do some calibration knowledge about MATLAB Simulink. We don't in this course, but we can teach you. We do have courses for it, right? So what this is going to do is it's going to kind of give you skill sets which not many other people will probably have, right? Okay, super. Now look at this. Shift pattern calibration in driving modes, normal, sport, eco, right? Where do you think you're going to learn it? How do you think you're going to have some practical experience? Let me tell you something, right? Even people who have worked inside organizations for about 10 years, they will not have the hands-on experience. They will not be allowed to work on the vehicles. They'll not be allowed to like experience what's happening. They're not going to be able to do that, right? So this is basically the kind of differentiation that this course can give you. Of course, I'm not talking about technicians. I'm talking purely from a OEM perspective. You can go become an R&D engineer. If you are from Coimbatore, you probably know about JM. Okay, something's happened. It's not opening up. Maybe the posting is pulled out. Okay, it's here. Right. So JM, they run engine test beds for Tata. So JM is right now owned by Murugappa Group, Montra, whom we also work with. So basically, you will have quite a lot of other job openings as well, not just as a motorsports or a technician, which means you have multiple redundancies. If you don't get a motorsports job, you can always get into an OEM job and you can do motorsports on your on your own time, right? Yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to kind of show. So let me just go back and do a very quick overview on what we're doing. So this course, I'm talking only about ECU tuning that we're teaching, what you can learn. So this is something which we have developed to international standards, which is why we were able to get STEM accreditation. We also have in the process of like getting some alignment with ASC. ASC stands for American Society for Automotive Engineers. So that is the company, that is the organization which certifies technicians in the US, right? So we are basically like aligning ourselves with it. And of course, ASDC and there's quite a lot of other organizations we work with. If you are in Tamil Nadu, you might know of this scheme called Nan Mudalvan. So we are building some courses for that. We are working with the government of Punjab to offer some similar courses. And when I say similar and all those things, I don't mean just engines, but also from a motors perspective, right? Tuning motors, how do you tune motors? How do you calibrate motors? How do you build motor control strategies? So there's quite a lot of things which you can learn, for which this would probably be the first step towards it, right? So with that, let me unshare my screen. Can we just close this and let me kind of like look into the questions, and I'll also wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk to you about what exactly we are offering in terms of the courses, right? So one quick last time, let me just share my screen, um, go back here, right? So this is our website. You will have to go to www.rainlab.com, right? We are there. And let me take you to our motorsport courses just to talk to you about what exactly we are offering, right? So if you have any more questions, maybe if in case like I've not been able to cover some things, so then you basically have those things here. So basically, what is it that you're going to be learning? So that's all outlined here in detail, right? Every single module is listed out here, and you have quite a lot of feedbacks. You can check it out. You can go to my personal Facebook page. You can go to Rain Lab. You can go check out our previous photos. You can check what we have been doing. You can kind of like figure out how long we've been doing this. And coming back to what we are going to be offering, right? So this is a flagship course which we currently have, which covers both petrol tuning as well as diesel tuning. So there are two different ways in which you offer this. So one is the petrol tuning alone. This is the online course, which is just going to cover the petrol cars alone, right? So petrol cars is standalone ECUs, petrol cars, petrol bikes. That's all that this is going to cover. Whereas this is something which will also cover diesel remaps. So whatever you saw today, the KTAG, the benchtop systems, the simulators. So this covers basically all of those things. And it also has a 5 day of practical tuning. So this 5 days, you can come offline to our facility at Chennai, where you will work on whatever cars that we have. We have an Esteem, we have a Super, we have a Laura, we have a KTM Duke 390. You can come down here. Of course, apart from it, there's quite a lot of engines and other things, wiring and other systems we have. So you can come down here. You can work with these systems. We have a curriculum for that. So this is going to be online petrol and diesel remaps, and you have a 5 day offline session. And this is usually sold for 20,000 rupees. I mean, as a part of the promotional campaign which we are running, I think for the next couple of days, we would be offering this at a 50% discount. I have Raj here. So Raj, can you post your contact details as well over here? So we are going to be offering the level 2 course at a 50% discount. Of course, a limited time offer because we can't extend it for forever, but we're going to be putting it out there for you guys. You can have Raj's contact number. You can just get in touch with him on WhatsApp, or you would have received the WhatsApp messages from our the sales system. So you can just reply to it, and our guys will get back to you and help you with this. Right. So that is the course which we usually sell for 20,000. You get it for a 50% off, which means it is available to you for 10,000 rupees. Some of you might have seen our courses being listed at other places. We do sell through a lot of other go-to-market partners, both in India and abroad as well. But those are only the online basic courses. We do not sell the level 2 course through anyone. So the level 2 course is where it comes directly from RainLab, taught by the RainLab staff. And this is what is going to be available for you at a 50% discount. Right. So you have Raj's contact number there. You can just drop a text over there. Now, any other questions? I think we can just go through the questions, and I can probably take the next 10 minutes going over the questions for you. Now, you don't have to just stop the questions with just related to ECU tuning. I work with BITS. I work with automotive organizations. I do electric vehicles. I do autonomous vehicles. I do courses on that. My screen is still shared, right? So just to give you an idea, this is my LinkedIn profile. It is Sajeeth Kumar, SAJEETHKUMAR, right? I'm not very active. I'm a little social media shy, but this is basically my experience. I work with BITS Pilani. I'm an adjunct faculty there. I'm also a technical advisor at AIC, which is an automotive-focused startup. So if you are an automotive startup, you want to have some idea about startups, starting a startup, getting some funding, I can help you out with it. Apart from it, there is also something else which we are working on. I'm also a CTO at an AI startup. We are coming up with some automotive diagnostics products, AI-based products. It's still in stealth mode, so I can't kind of reveal too much about it. But yeah, pretty much anything to do with automobiles, ECUs, electronics, AI, I can probably help you out with it, right? So let me unshare the screen. Let me go into the questions. I know there's quite a lot of questions here. Let me just go through it one by one. Okay, let me. Rajneesh Pratap Singh. Okay, you have done your BS, MS in ECS. You got a 14-year-old car. You're starting about it. Hey, if you can let me know what car it is, I can probably of more help to you. Old car, always the best way to do it. It's always fun learning with old cars. Even if you break stuff, it's cheaper. So Esteems. I've always been a Suzuki guy. I don't know how many of you here started out as Suzuki guys. Maybe Honda is all the rage right now, but I started with Suzuki. Honda's came into the scene only about 10, 12 years back. Before then, it was all Suzuki's, right? Giridhar, you worked as an electronics engineer at a hardware company. Wow, super amazing. You own a tuned VW Vento TSI. You want to learn behind the scenes. Super. Yes, we have done quite a lot of it. 1.2 TSI, probably with the DSG, you have a TCU map as well. Yep, quite an interesting car, right? Um, you're in your second year of, okay, Ajay Krishnan, your second year of mechanical engineering, motorsports. So, I mean, if it's anything more specific, if I'm not able to get in touch with you, I think you can always text Raj, and if you want to speak to me, we can always have a one-on-one session. Finding time is always a little bit of a problem, but we can always we can always find some way to do that. Ashton, I remember you, right, from Mumbai, right? Yeah, I remember you. I remember your bike, I guess. I'm not really sure if it's you, but I remember a bike. I mean, you coming in a bike and all. Um, Starting ECU tuning as a client service, reliable sources to acquire a dyno. Okay, so right now, dyno. Now that you talk about dyno, there are some things that you can do, right? So there is something called as sorry. There is something called as your dyno, I guess. Yeah. So if you want to build a dyno yourself, we have plans for the mechanical systems that we can help you out with. So what you can do is, if you want the cheapest one, this is basically what you can do. You can buy the dyno kit, you can buy the software from them, and that's about it, right? So this is the cheapest that you can go and do it. They also have a forum where they teach you how to do it. There's quite a lot of things over here, so you can check this out. So this is one of the best ways for you to get started with your dyno. Or if you want a manufacturer, I can put you on touch with Such Dyno or someone like that. I can probably put you on with that. Right? You worked Audi in the performance segment. Oh wow. Okay. Super. Super. Okay. Ashwin, can we connect offline? I don't know if you have my number or just text Raj. We'll connect offline. We can probably figure out how to do that. Right? We'll connect offline, Ashton. Um, Ganesh Nandagopal, BSc graduate, super, super. Manav, how long are our trainings? So that depends. You can do the online training and then you can come down offline for about 5 days. And it is not specific that you should come for the offline immediately after you complete the online one. You can complete the online at your own pace. You can come this week, you can come next week, you can even come next year for the offline sessions, depending on whenever you want. And if in case you want us to enable more online access for you just before you come, do let us know. We are extremely flexible with it. We can help you do that. How does the online course work? I mean, it's on our LMS. So you would have recorded videos and you would have the virtual dyno to practice. So that covers pretty much all the basics. And once you come down for the offline modules, we will have our instructors stand with you and take you through things and kind of explain it, right? ECU tuning in electric vehicles. So electric vehicles is a little interesting. So here it is not ECU tuning. We call it as motor controller tuning, right? Motor controller calibration. So normally we would have restricted the current in the electric motors to kind of get you some extra range. But if you want to kind of build a drag car, right? I don't know how many of you know about it, but if you want to like really know what electric vehicles can do, if you think electric vehicles are boring and you will not catch me dead driving an electric vehicle, I just wanted to show you something here. Just search for white zombie drag car. White zombie, yeah, I think, yeah. So just search for white zombie electric car, and this was built 10 years back, right, in someone's garage. It is not an OEM engineered car. It is a junkyard motor and junkyard battery based car. Just go ahead. I don't want to show you what it's capable of doing it, but you see a Nissan Skyline GTR here, and you see this car, right? So it runs a 10-second quarter mile. So you can kind of understand the scope of tuning when it comes to electric vehicles as well. So that's what I say. The easy tuning is basically the fundamentals that you would probably need to get into any of these things, right? We can have more probably. We'll try to do something on specifically for EV sometime in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably do that. So Shivans, I think I've kind of like covered what you wanted to ask. Ashton, yes. What I will cover in the automotive technician course, Arun, I think Raj can help you out with that. Um, Lokesh, are you talking about the offline courses? If it is, then we can have a weekend batch depending on that. Basic tools for ECU tuning. I think a minimum investment would be about 2 lakhs, 1.5 to 2 lakhs. That would be the bare minimum you will start with. Depending on where exactly you're located, you can kind of keep adding more to this, right? Mechanical engineering, motorsports, yes, we can. Rajat, please get in touch with me. Startups, I sit on the Startup India Seed Fund panel. I was there in meetings today as well, where we evaluate startups and you can get up to 50 lakhs funding, provided you are on par with what our requirements are. You should be technically good. You should have a good idea. If that is the case, then I can help you out with it. Okay, E90 320i is super, right? You can build it all that you want, and when you're bugged up with it, throw it out and put a different engine in it, right? So engine swaps are getting extremely popular. Nice car, E90. Super offline courses. Ashish Sebastian, you're a mechanical engineering graduate working in Royal Enfield as an assistant service manager. Okay, race engineering, data sheet analysis and tuning. Okay, so you want to get into Europe. Okay, see, Europe, the problem is they will want you to, most of the countries, they want you to have a master's degree, and you can only get into a job there through a post-study work visa. So if you have a mechanical engineering background, again, please connect with us. I will need to speak a lot with you. I don't want to kind of like just give you some information here. We'll need to sit down and discuss with you. There is a lot of things which we need to kind of understand. But yes, you can. If you get into a good university, you get a post-study work visa. You should be able to work for 2 or 3 years, right? I think that's how the post-study work visa works right now. Ashish, you can text Raj on the same number 9384852224, and I'll have him schedule it, right? Ashton, okay, great, super. Yeah, you are tied up with Racer Academy, Rajni as well, right? Okay, right. I remember. I remember your bike more than you. I mean, to be honest. Right. You have a 2011 Chevy Cruze. Is it a good car to tune? Yes, it is. But how old is it? Usually, old cars they start having problems. But yeah, it's a pretty good car. Graphene synthesis. Again, please text Raj. We'll try to fix up some time. We'll try to speak. Right. We'll try to do that. Is that engineering degree required for this? No, engineering degree is not needed. We don't need any engineering at all. All you need is some basic interest in this, and that should be all right. You don't need anything else for that. Agni Tech Forge, let me just write it down. I will have a look at it, and you can form. Okay, so you can text Raj, and we can probably connect. Okay. Rajnish, please get in touch with Raj on the number. I'll just type out his number again in case you didn't catch it. 52224, right? Yeah. So you can just text him there, and we'll connect it. Why don't remaps for common gasoline engines have a repository that can be paid for in order to flash new ECU? Eurospec 5 GD650. I mean, see, it's a supply versus demand, and usually what happens is whenever you have the emissions maps in place, it's extremely difficult for people to kind of like reproduce a good map for it as well, especially the Euro 5, Euro 6 maps. So as long as there is a demand and someone takes the effort, you can probably sit down and get something done, right? You have done a diploma in automotive engineering. Can you get a job after doing ECU tuning? See, I cannot guarantee that you will definitely get a job after doing ECU tuning. It depends on how good you are, right? So that is something which a lot of people do. They say you do this, you'll definitely get a job, but that is not how it's going to work. It depends on how good you are at the course. We can help you. We can definitely help you. I can mentor you. But a lot depends on what you are able to do as well. But that being said and done, we've had a lot of success with people getting jobs after doing the course. So a lot depends on you as well, right? Will I be there during the 5 days of training? Depends. I'll try to be here. See, usually like my schedules are extremely haywire. I'm part of 3 different startups, and then I do some work at CIC. I do work for BITS, so I keep traveling. But Manav, just do let me know when you're here. You can probably schedule it. I'll probably schedule mine as well. We'll try to have some overlaps on it. Okay, super. You're an automotive engineer doing masters in electric vehicle technology. You could probably Syed Faisali, you could probably text Raj on the number I've given. We can fix up a time and we can do that. Okay, you stay in BITS Hyderabad. Okay, super. I'm there on the 10th, right? Tuesday. I'm there on the 10th. I'll be there for the full day. I'm supposed to do a guest lecture for the mechanical department as well. So maybe we can catch up. I think between 5 to 7. I'll be in the campus from the morning. I'll be at the AE lab, the last lab, right? So I'll be there after lunch or something. 5 to 7, I have a session, staying overnight at the guest house, and 11th I'll be leaving back. So it's nice if we can catch up sometime there. Would we be able to probably do that? Okay, one question on is learning ECU technology, ECU tuning the future technology? See, I'll not say this is the technology you will have to learn, you will have to do this. What I'm trying to tell you is this is like basically trying to learn your alphabets or your essay writing. So do you need essay writing to do things? You don't, but it teaches you a lot of fundamentals, right? So that's basically how this works. It's the fundamentals. You need to have the fundamentals. This is a very interesting way to learn fundamentals, because the other alternative is I put you through some triple E courses, autotronics or something like that. That is actually going to be very boring. This is the easiest and most interesting way for you to learn about cars, sensors, and stuff. Can I suggest what to do with the E90? Yeah, we can probably connect offline, right? We can probably do that. Lot of interesting ideas. We'll do that. Manav, what does it take? What does it take time and resource wise to get good at tuning? I would say anywhere between 3 to 6 months to start off. And then the more vehicles you tune, the better that you get at it. I started like this probably in 2012 or 13, I guess, right? And then you probably like start doing more vehicles, you get good at it. Now you have generative AIs, which can also help you a lot. It's not like us. When we started, even websites didn't exist. It was all forums, import tuner magazines and stuff like that. Okay. Ashwin, nice talking to you again. Nice seeing you here. Do stay in touch. Okay. Would the online course help becoming a freelancer at ECU Tuning? Yes, it gives you the basics. You'll have to come for the offline, and then you will have to put in some work on your own as well, Manav. The more you work, the better you get, but we will give you our support, right? While you're struggling, if you don't know how to tune a car, you need some support, we'll always do that. We'll help you out with it. Right. So I think everything in the chat box is covered. Anything in the Q&A? Okay, I'm passionate about automobiles, job opportunities, business. Mr. Mujtaba Sheikh, right? I hope Raj has replied to you, but we will anyways get back in touch with you. I'll have Raj get in touch with you. So any questions, anything else? you can probably get in touch with Raj at any point of the time, right? We will do that. Okay, Ashton, is it advisable to do a BITS course? See, BITS is going to be a totally different ball game altogether. It's an MTech course, MTech Automotive Engineering or Automotive Electronics. It is going to be no way related to the Master Automotive Technician. One course that I teach maybe like will be an overlap, but otherwise it's completely engineering perspective. Yeah, you deep dive into it. If you want to go and start working for an automotive OEM, the BITS MTech is extremely good. I teach a couple of courses. I'm not sure what I would teach next semester, but I teach a couple of courses. It's extremely good from that perspective. If it just gives the basics, what's the next step? See, Manav, I wouldn't say basics, right? I mean, it's like, see, what some people do is some online courses, they'll say, we will teach you how to tune a Haltech ECU. We don't want to do that, right? So we don't want to tell you, you buy a Haltech ECU tuning course for 20,000 and then you come for a Motec course for 20,000. We don't want to tell you that. So what we do is we cover the basics pretty much for which is applicable for either remaps or for ECU tuning. And post that, depending on what application that you have. Now, suppose say you got a Honda City VTEC, you need to install an ECU. You don't know how to do it for a Honda City. You would give us a call or you'll talk to one of our technicians. They'll try to guide you. You would know the basics already, so they guide you. You try doing it, you learn. Then the next day, maybe like Mercedes-Benz comes in for a remap. You would, of course, not have learned to do on a Mercedes-Benz, but we will help you how to do it. We will give you support. We don't want to spoon feed you. We want to kind of give you the basics and then you learn from there. That is always the best way to learn. Spoon feeding, trust me, does not work. I'm an instructional designer as well, as you could have seen from my LinkedIn profile. Spoon feeding is not how it works. That's basically what is wrong with our Indian education system as well. So this is the basics, but we handhold you. So no reason why you should not be able to do anything advanced, right? You completed your mechatronics BTech. Okay, super. Ashton, yeah, please do let me know, right? Great. As vague as it sounds, is there a way to apply for shadowship in RainLab Motorsports? Shivansh, like we don't do motorsports actively, basically because of a lack of time from my side, more than anything else. But what I can do is I can probably, if you want to work in a motorsport team or something, I can always help you, work with some of the teams that we work with. Or motorsports is a very small field. I would probably know most of them there. I can probably put in a word here, there. I can probably try to get you some internships if that's what you're looking at. That's always done. So for Type 1 cruise, it takes 30K to tune it to stage 1. So after the course, I'll be able to at least to tune it on your own. Yes, I mean, you can. You'll need the tools and other things, but you can. Technically, you can. There's a lot of things. I mean, stage 1 is not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of things you'll need to learn, but technically you can. Maybe give it 3 months or 6 months for the first tune. Once you've figured things out on your own, after the first tune, things will get much more easier, right? The first time around, it'll always be slow. Great. So I think we are quite done with this. So once again, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining in for this. Hope you had an interesting time. Hope you were able to, or I was able to clear out some of your doubts. I was able to give you some information about what we do, and hopefully, like pointed you in the right direction, right? Maybe we guys should join together and say, people for IC engines or something like that. There's so much of things which happens for EVs, but not much which happens for IC engines. So I think, in that sense, at least we should do that. My LinkedIn profile, let me just quickly pull it up. Let me just paste it here. Just give me a second. So that's my LinkedIn profile, SAJEETH -KUMAR. RWTH at Aken. Okay, super. So Ashish, I think Karthik Karani was there, a very good friend of mine. I think I think he graduated 2 years back. He was from Chennai. He was interning at BMW. I know it's too big, but He used to be the test driver for Volkswagen Motorsports, and he did his master's in automotive engineering from RWTH Aachen, right? Maybe you know him, if you don't, but yeah, super. So great doing this here. Nice talking to everyone. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone. Nice talking to you guys, and do stay in touch and let me know if there's anything else that you would need my help with. Tune cards, yes, of course. Yes. Right. Great. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.